Alright guys, so our setup is done. I would consider this as an intermediate level uh, lecture, so I would go a lot faster than I usually do. Like now we have to refactor this script, our ghetto script, which just has the commands that we have executed so far. So there are multiple sections to this. Uh, First is the gcloud commands that we're going to execute locally. Second is the lamp install. And the third is the WordPress install. So for each, I will create different files. All right. So the reason I have this open, and everybody has different ways of doing this. So if you already have a standardized way, good. If you don't, then this might help you guys. Okay. So the information that I like to include here is the first line. People use both. So bin bash or user bin env and then bash, and like you should be able to look up the differences with the Linux scripting part. Name of the script, info, these two links I have used as a reference, and any other information your organization or you feel is necessary. Modification log. This is very critical. Although VCS have these things logged, it's still beneficial to kind of have a high level idea on what exactly is going on in this file. Okay, so today is the day that I created this file, and then I'm gonna take both of these. Now personally I like to separate these main sections with these equal to signs, and then basically whatever it's doing, gcloud firewall, well, gcloud resource creation is what I will call it, and then create firewall for HTTP, that's the TCP/AT, ping, that is ICMP, and then SSH, which is TCP/22. Okay, then create compute instance, and whatever details you want to give, but the main thing would be WP lamp. So rest hub is pretty default, except for and the firewall we are creating right above it, so I won't mention it, but the storage RW is added to write config files. Like by default, when you create a machine, the scope that gets added is storage RO, and I'm adding RW for the machine to be able to write config files to S3. Okay, the next thing, I also had a bucket created. Okay, so that's the bucket. gsutil mb create bucket to hold GCP resources. All right, so if we're going to set up this script or like this same setup for multiple machines, we're gonna have to come here and change all these parameters, right? So that's why we don't want to use something like this, but instead, well, you don't want to hardcode the variables is what I meant to say. So VM name is equal to I'm just going to take this for now, WP lamp allow HTTP, ICMP, and SSH. Okay, like this part is here. So once again, you can parameterize this too, but it will depend on like how generic you want to make it. Like right now, I just want to make it generic to where this works for multiple setups. So we have name. Okay. Fire. Full name. And let's make it generic too. Use this. Okay, and then rules. And this is not exactly necessary here, but it just, if you make it a habit, when you do need it, it's just already there. Okay, now this I'm going to pause, and once I'm done doing this, I will resume again. Alright guys, so I have basically parameterized everything. Now one thing that I would add is in AWS, you can add tags to just about everything. And basically what a tag is, it's just a setup, it's just metadata that you add to a resource so you can group them by whichever means possible. Like here, it's environment. These guys have project in project name, but usually in AWS you have one of the variables as project. Well, you can add just about anything, but here I can add labels to the compute instance, but I cannot add a label to the firewall. So that's that. Okay, now, so this one is ready, and of course I will have to test it out for syntaxes, mistakes. Well, actually one more thing I would like to add. I actually have this, I am on the other machine. crvm.sh. So basically this script that I have, I just use it to spin up VMs if I want one just quickly created, like basically crvm.sh training what? Well, training is fine. Alright, so basically, and this is the advantage of using command line. While that's getting created, I could be doing something else, but I will just show it to you guys. So that's the firewall created. And that's the machine created. And after that, I've just added one more line, which just gives me, so this is the machine that got created. G cloud compute, delete. Okay, so that will delete that. The only part that I wanted to take from this script is this, and this should be just about everywhere that you are you need some mandatory variables. So let's say I won't be calling this variable, I mean like this script, as part of command line, but let's say if I am, I'm asking if there is no parameter to this script, don't execute this script. Because, well, first of all, there is no point in it executing. Second of all, there might be commands that you haven't parameterized, or like if it's a 100-line script and it just executes and you have no way of knowing what's right and what's wrong. So that just puts it in check. Where is my term? Okay, so this is done, and let me show you what I mean by that. crvm.sh. So basically, I did not specify a machine name, and when I did that, it just cut me off right there. All right. So next thing, this lamp stack and Wordpress stack, I have already copied them into files. So the top stuff remains the same, and then like I put all of this in one file. So now if, well, not if, like typically if there are multiple variables like this, I like to put them also in a separate file and then source that file at the very top. But I'm just going to leave it here because this is going to just, if I have to enforce all my Nazi standards, this will never finish. All right. So now another thing here, this is something I found, and this is going to come in handy because I don't ever remember syntaxes. So for that, I have a tool called Notion, and no matter what I'm working on, I keep making notes. So whenever, like the next time you need this, some stuff is going to come in handy no matter what. This will be under database section, but what? And there it is. So, and connect to MySQL syntax. Now, all of this stuff, so execute in temp folder, download the latest WordPress, and so on and so forth. Now a little bit of optimization, we will have some comment here and whatever these files are doing. Okay, so these three I copied straight from that website, and what it's doing is it's changing the ownership of WP content, but then the rest of the stuff is also under WP content, and he or she basically just repeating that command. So no need to have these two. And once again, as I was saying, we need that bucket name here. So we could, I mean, this would all go as part of a full deployment. So these will all be related, but I'm just kind of trying to, okay, this is not the file that I was working on. Press install. Yeah, this is the file. So basically this will once again be $VM and I don't remember what the name was. Anyways, basically I'm just kind of giving you guys an idea. I will finish these scripts the way I want them or the way I will do it, but I kind of go about it little by little as I may keep improvising. Like my work never stops at the first iteration. Like I literally go through 7 to 8 iterations for each file, and once again, like basically it will take us a very long time if we were to stay here for that. Okay, so that's this file, and the other file that I wanted to show you guys, the lamp install. Now this is very critical when you're working on a production system. You cannot say this, because like if you say this, each time this machine or like the script executes, it's going to install a different version. And if you have 100 machines and you add another 10 and they're serving the same purpose, they will be out of sync. So you never want to just say Apache 2 or PHP. You always want to specify a version no matter what you're installing. So that was the main takeaway from that file. Once again, this is the standard stuff, and it executes the files. Okay, so we have 3 files ready. Well, totally 6 files. And this is what my stack looks like. Lamp install, WordPress install. Now this I have init. Like basically that's a file that I should never use. So this is once again your terminology, whatever you want to follow. So WordPress install. This doesn't make any sense. This is actually init. This is actually the actual file. Okay. So I got these 4 files ready, and then these are all my config files that I wanted. So this is my entire script setup that I want. And now I need to, so this is something I do very often, and because I do it very often, I have just created a shortcut and all my files are in. Alright guys, I'm going to close this here, and once all my scripts are ready, then we'll execute them. Thank you.